Captain, what are you talking about? It appears to be a blackout. Everything is all black.
We ready, we ready for y'all. We ready, we ready, we ready for y'all.
Yo. It's your boy Jamar, Top Chef Sports Talk. Back with my guy, Smitty.
Yo, we here, man. I couldn't wear
Oh,
my
man.
cowboy hat today, y'all. I'm sorry, man. The way they made me feel, they on punishment to the NFL draft.
Hey, listen, shout out to my wife. She just brought me the Eagles chain. Hey, listen, I still got to represent, man. No
No,
matter what.
absolutely. You gotta represent win,
The
lose, or
Eagles,
draw.
they pissed me off. I don't understand how they forgot how to play football the last 6 games or 7 games of the season. It just mesmerizes me. They just totally forgot how to play. But I still can't, I still got to rep them. I'm still going to rep them.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I'm still repping Dallas, man. I love y'all, but y'all on punishment, man. Matter of fact, the draft is a little harsh. Y'all on punishment until the combine.
Who y'all? All right, so let's get into it. Like, what's your holes? What you think y'all? What y'all need
Man,
to fix up?
shoot, on the holes mainly, Jerry, you need to fix your attitude. You keep swearing up and down, boy. Old head keeps saying, "Oh, I don't got that much time left. I want to win." Well,
Yeah.
you want to win, you need to go ahead and release some of them titles you got under your name outside of owner / CEO. That's a starter. But since we know he's not gonna do that, we're gonna be realistic. Him, his son, and Will Clay, who Will Clay's really the GM, but his title is assistant GM because Jerry and his son's ego won't let him have the full GM title. They need to go get Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's still in it. He's still got some legs left under that. They need to go get Derrick Henry because Tony Pollard this year, no, bro. I don't want to hear nothing about Tony Pollard still at 1,000 yards. It's not that hard to get 1,000 yards in an 18-game season. All you need to average, I think, is like 57 yards a game. Which Jamar, you can tell the people that's terrible if all you average is 57 yards a game as a starting running back.
Right.
So you need to start there. Go get like Derrick Henry or running back because if you're keeping Mike McCarthy for this 1 year and see what he does, Mike McCarthy's offense, you could tell he tried it. I give McCarthy that. He tried it with the running game. It's predicated off establishing the run.
Right.
He just noticed Pollard wasn't getting it done. So you need to go get like a Derrick Henry. Then we gonna go. You said what?
Let me ask you this: Did you prematurely get rid of Zeke?
Yes, but no. That contract wasn't worth what we needed Zeke to, what Zeke had left in him or has left in him was not worth what that contract we was gonna have to give him this last year. Zeke is a short yardage and goal line running back. They was gonna have to pay him, I think it was like 16 or 17 million for this year, guaranteed. For that, no, you could get 2 running backs for that.
Why couldn't you renegotiate?
Zeke's pops came out and said, we're not renegotiating. At first, Zeke said, I wanted to stay. Then his pops came out and said, we're not renegotiating. So, he said with his pops, that's his dad. So he said, nah, I got to. So Jerry probably was like, well, all right, well, then you got to go.
You know what? I feel you. I feel like the pops making the stands because it's business. It's all business at the end of the day. And I respect that. But I think he took a hit to his career going to
New England because New England had no quarterback, no offense,
right.
No nothing. So now it looks like, dude, what are you doing?
Like it's like how do you come back from that? How do you convince a team next year going forward that you are Zeke? Like how do you do that? You know what I mean? And that's the problem that I have with those type of moves when parents or your agents get involved and say like, yo, we not renegotiating. You could renegotiate it for like a 10 mil or 9 mil. You know what I mean? And still had a chance to win a Super Bowl because you was on a good team. But you say no, they let you go, and then you go to the Patriots and don't do a damn thing.
Damn thing. The offense was, and it wasn't even really his fault. It's just that offense was so bad that everybody on that offense looked terrible. So now it looks like Zeke might have a year or two left in them legs, but it's going to be hard for him to get a job now.
Exactly, because everybody's getting younger, going younger with younger running backs, drafting, running back. But let me ask you this about the running back position, because I always say that the NFL is, we all know that they're trying to devalue that position.
Yeah, it's trying to be an extinct position.
Right. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I think the Eagles got caught. I think the Eagles got caught up in that, because they even though they had a 1,000-yard rusher, they like even that playoff game, they abandoned the run. They went 9 yards on the first run, and 5 yards on the second run of the game, and then just stopped.
Yeah, that's what happens a lot of times. That's what used to piss me off with Kellen Moore when he was with us. Zeke would break a 10-yard run, a 12-yard run, a 5 or a 6-yard run, and then you want to throw the ball 10 straight times with that, and he get nothing, 3 and out. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? The man just broke you 3 big runs, and you want to go pass it. Keep running and make them force you to stop running the ball. But that's the way the NFL has got, and I'm gonna blame that on Sean McVay. Once he started showing all these flashy motions and flashy pass plays, and him and Kyle Shanahan actually, everybody wants to start going to just pass it. It's bringing, because it's a number game. We're gonna be real. The NFL is a business. Fans would like seeing stuff like that, the fantasy sports, the fan duels, the sports books, all that. So it made it look it's flashy numbers, man. So
but that hurts the game though, because the game you can't win Super Bowls without running the ball.
Absolutely, because it's too cold come January to February.
Exactly. You'll see, like, even with Baltimore, they got a running game too. You got to run the ball in order to set up the pass, because if you don't run the ball, nobody's going to respect your pass. I mean, nobody's going to respect the run. They're going to drop back in coverage and stop your pass. That's what from week 6 or week 11 till the end of the season, that's what every team did to the Eagles. Every team did to the Eagles. They just dropped off. They just dropped back in coverage and stopped AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, all that. He gonna throw in a double coverage, triple coverage every time, because y'all not gonna run the ball. We don't respect
y'all. Yeah, that's why I was noticing watching y'all games and rewatching them. I'd be like, they coaching DeAndre Swift might break a 6-7 yard run, and then y'all just don't run the ball no more after that.
Just stop. This is like, oh no, that worked. So let's go away from that. That worked too much. That go away from that. That's what killed me. And I'm like, yo, why are y'all not running the ball? Design quarterback runs you're doing. You're doing design quarterback runs with Jalen Hurts. How in the heck is that? You got that man hurt. First his knee. Right when AJ Brown got hurt in the Giants game, I was like, yo. When AJ Brown got hurt, I put a post up. I said, yo, take Jalen Hurts out. Just embrace the 5th seed and move on. They left him in the game. He wound up dislocating his finger after that. Like two or three plays later, dislocating his finger. And it was like, was all that necessary? To me, it was like, yo, I think y'all don't like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I think they gave him the contract, but didn't want to really give him the contract. Like, what are you doing? You got to protect your quarterback.
Right. Y'all had one of the best offensive lines in the league. Y'all traded for a better running back. Like, why are we still trying to do stuff because we think we can do it? Like, we think that's what we want to do. We should be able to do that. Why not use our strength to our advantage? Like, why not say, all right, well, I'm going to run. As soon as you believe that you're going to stop my run, I'm going to set up the pass. You know what I mean? I don't understand why that was so hard for them to do. Why that was so much of an issue for them to do. You know what I mean? That don't make sense.
And that go back to my point when I said about Kellen Moore. Sometimes these offensive coordinators, the head coaches, they try to get a little too fancy. Louis Riddick on ESPN said it one time when he was talking about Kellen Moore. Like, some of these offensive coordinators, they get a little too fancy, trying to show off that they can make nice game plans. They should be head coaches, and they get a little ahead of themselves. And then you'd be like, oh, let's bring it back in a little bit.
Right.
There's no need for all that extra. Let's play the game the way it needs to be played. And playing the game of football, I don't give a damn if you're a Cowboy fan, an Eagles fan, a Titans fan, a Patriots fan, a Vikings, whatever team you like. You got to be able to establish the run, because if you can't pass the ball without running. Because if you think you're just gonna come out there, look at Peyton Manning. Even though it took them all them years, because even though they had Edgerrin James, it took Tony Dungy and the other coach, I forgot his name. They had they realize, oh, we got to get this run game established. We can't keep having Peyton throw 40 times a game and think that's going to get us some wins.
Right.
That's why he keeps leading the league in interceptions, because we're trying to throw the ball too much. You got to establish the run game to be able to pass the ball. Right. If the defense knows that you're going to drop back on 3 straight drives and pass each drive, all I'm going to do is have a dime defense or a nickel defense and be like, man, just drop back. They're not going to run it.
Right. Just drop back every time. They're not going to run the ball. It's easier for us to drop back, get the interception, or force them to throw errant throws, because that's what they're going to do. They're not running the ball. Now, you spoke earlier on trying to get Derrick Henry. There was reports out there that y'all was trying to go after Swift.
I'm going to be honest, man. I like DeAndre Swift. I like him a lot, what he did for you, but I prefer Henry because the way that if Mike McCarthy, which the report just came out yesterday, Adam Schefter dropped, if anybody don't know, Jerry Jones said he's not giving Mike McCarthy a contract extension. He said he's going to let him play this last year out and see how it does, because Jerry, quote unquote, feels like when you got an extra pressure on it, it brings the best out of you. And AKA Jerry bullshit language, that means, motherfucker, your ass got 1 year left. You don't get to at least that conference championship game, your ass is out of here. Thanks for the 5 years of nothing. So basically, exactly. He's letting. So if you want to go with that, I personally think I take both Derrick Henry and DeAndre Swift, because I don't think Pollard's coming back. But I'll say Derrick Henry just because of the way that Derrick Henry plays and the way Mike McCarthy looked like he wanted to use his offense, was use the run to set up the pass, but the run game was just not relevant. I take Derrick Henry. I think DeAndre Swift technically is best suited for a team like you or Minnesota, actually, right, where they could dump it off them or let him get open like on zone runs to run the ball.
Yeah, I think so.
I take DeAndre Swift, but I personally, I want Derrick Henry.
I know they said it was an NFC, I'm not going to say powerhouse, but a big NFC team that was going after Derrick Henry. I think it's us.
He'd go good with y'all, too, if y'all going to actually use him.
I know that's the only problem. I think with the new coordinators, because you obviously we're going to get new, and it's still not even set in stone that Nick Sirianni is going to be the coach. Because I know Adam Schefter said yesterday as well, like, they're still going back and forth with meetings with management to see what, the direction of the team. But obviously they got to get new coordinators. They got to get a new offensive coordinator, they got to get a new defensive coordinator. And they got to mix that pass up with that run like they did the year before. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, if we got a powerhouse like Derrick Henry alongside of Jalen Hurts, and that quarterback sneak, that tush push, like that drove me crazy after a while. I was tired.
That's the only thing that was getting successful for y'all.
Yeah, but it was too much. You know what I mean? It was too much. Because even that last game, even that Tampa Bay game, they stopped it.
Yeah, on the goal line.
The goal line, it was like that game to me. I was like, yo, kick the extra point. Just get the points. Just take the points. You would have been up by 7. You know what I mean? Just get the points. But you went tush push and they stopped you, and then it's just it's too much of that. They know what's coming. People know what's coming. You're predictable. Yeah, I would have even liked them to do the fake. You know what I mean? Act like they was lining up for the tush push, then drove and then dropped back and handed the ball off to Swift or somebody, Gainwell or whoever else. But you're doing the same thing every time, and it's just it was just cliche. Everybody know what you're going to do when you get ready to do it. First and goal, they know tush push coming. Even though it was successful, even though everybody we converted 99% of the time, it was still the same call every time. You knew. Teams just line up and say that I know they get ready to tush push, so let's just try to line up and stop it.
Pretty much just put 10 in the box, and the other guy, you just jump over the huddle. Yeah, and a lot of times, you heard the analyst, Chris Sims. Chris Sims, yeah, he was the one saying that. Yeah, if I'm out there on defense and they doing that tush push, I might try to go after Jalen Hurts. I might try to get him a dirty hit. Yeah, I'm jumping over the pile and I'm going to hopefully my shoulder hit you, but if not, whatever hits you, hit you. Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, if I can't stop it, I'm gonna try to do some damage to somebody. Right, you know what I mean? Your lineman could do technically some damage to me going low on my knees. Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. You keep constantly why not? Because there was times where Swift will get you down there to the goal line and you do a tush push. Reward that man. He got you down there. He ran that ball down there, got you down there. Your running back crew should be rewarded in that situation, not Jalen Hurts per se. You know what I mean? He should be handling that ball off. At least on third and fourth and goal, then you try it.
not first and goal, because then even too, you're not managing the clock well. You know what I mean? Because you're giving them the ball right back with a lot of time left on the clock. So
Yeah.
that ain't even working out for you. You know what I mean? So it's like, a lot of times that we did that play and people was like, yo, that play worked. It worked. I like it do work, but it's too predictable. You're doing it every time, every
You
chance
can't
get.
do it every time. You can't do. You got to switch it up. Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
agree with you on that. That started
Yeah.
getting nerve wracking because you got to
Yeah.
switch it. Eventually, defensive coordinator is going to have their assistants. Hey, just study that play and see what we got to line up in this stop.
Yeah. Next year, that's what they're going to do. They all off season when the NFL season done, all off season, every coordinator, every head coach, everybody's going to look at that play and say, what can we do better? How can we coach our guys to get deeper or lower to be able to stop that play? You know what I mean? But it's up to the Eagles to say, you know what? Even though let's line up in that formation, but let's come out of it as soon as we hike the ball. Let's do a toss. You know what I mean? Because we will have everybody believing that they got to go low to stop that play. They did it one time, I think, against the Vikings for the touchdown with DeAndre Swift. It was like,
that's the way you should do. Like fake to tush push, and then you toss it to him and just be like, run the outside.
Yeah, like it's you got to be creative and you got to stop being predictable. You know what I mean? That's our Eagles' downfall, being predictable. You know what I mean? And that's bad formula. You can't win like that. And that's evident. We lost the first round playoff game against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who nobody even thought they was going to be in that position. We lost that game. You know what I mean? And that was terrible. Like, that was terrible. I thought for sure. I was listening to Chad Ochocinco and them say that the Eagles was playing possum and they was acting like they didn't know how to play just to catch the league off guard. They was going to go in the playoffs and just be a total different team. I was subscribed to that. I was like, yeah, that's what they're going to do. I was telling everybody, wait to the playoffs. You'll see. We're going to bomb on Tampa Bay. We're going to just go through the playoffs and get to that Super Bowl. And, man, listen, again, in that game, that was terrible tackling.
Bradbury can't tackle for nothing.
He got it. He need to be cut now.
Yeah, he got it. I don't know. He went from being elite to being elite trash.
Yeah, he's horrible. He's horrible. He's
the guy you show the young boys do not tackle like this. This is like the plays we want you to know, not how to tackle.
Yeah, or not how to cut. Like he was getting beat like he stole something.
Yeah,
like every play.
Like Bradbury might find himself in Carolina back. Well, that's where he started off at, actually, Carolina. He might need to go back down there.
Go back to the Giants, man. Let AJ torch you. Yeah, that's horrible, man. But I mean, going forward, me personally, like, I believe once we settle our coordinator position, like if we get better coordinators, they're talking about Pat Shurmur. I don't know if they're going to try to bring back Matt Patricia on defense, but if you get better coordinators for us this next year going forward, hopefully get Swift back. I would bring Swift back. And mix up that play call and get Jalen Hurts in the better rhythm instead of throwing the ball 50 times a game, have him throw 20, 25 times a game, and mix that run with the pass. And I think going forward, it's not really much we need because we drafted to replace Kelsey 2 years ago. We got Cam Jurgens to be the center. Obviously, we're going to need a little bit more offensive line help. We're going to need defensive line help. You had said something in my post about who to keep on defense. I'm like, Brandon Graham and Fletcher is gone. They're gone. They're too old. You think they're gonna go somewhere and be a vet on another team, a young bull team or something? I think so. I think they're gonna do 1 year somewhere else. I'm not sure where they're gonna go. I think
it's just not gonna be in Philly.
No. I mean, as much as I like them, I think that you got to let your young boys get the shine.
Yeah, Carter and them, you gotta let them grow.
Right, you gotta let them grow. You can't hamper them with that veteran mentality that they. I mean, even though you need that, you got vets on the defense, but you need them to grow in that position and
you
not
don't want to be like Golden State.
Yeah. You just don't want to be splitting time with them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you can get your young boys to be on that defensive line doing their thing, we are, obviously you're still gonna have to draft for depth, and you got to get a linebacker. We need linebackers like crazy because Shaq Leonard, he should have went to y'all.
No, I'm
He was
happy
terrible.
Shaq Leonard. Even as bad as we need 20 linebackers because we got linebackers my size, 5'9", 5'10", 190 playing linebacker. I don't get what Dan Quinn even thought in his head how that was gonna work out in the NFL. But
I don't know.
but we'll get back to that since we talk linebackers. Hold on. I'm so happy he didn't come because I'm like, bro, even though we needed linebackers, he did absolutely nothing for y'all.
Nothing. There was times that he wasn't even on the field.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, he was supposed to be this prize free mid-season free agent, and you did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it was like the coach said, you know what, he ain't nothing for us. Then they kind of like said to the Eagles, go get him. You want to play over there. And he came over there and actually absolutely stunk the building up, man. Like he ain't do nothing. Kevin Byard was another one.
Yeah,
Kevin Byard didn't do
he
nothing.
might have been past his prime. Tennessee might have knew what they was doing. Like, hey,
exactly.
bro, have him.
Like, yeah, y'all want him, y'all can have him. Like, because he did absolutely nothing. Like our defense as a whole last year, I mean, this past season was terrible, man. Like
our defense, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was right when Leighton Vander Esch got hurt and that exposed our linebacking core, but we started off fire. Like everybody, people like you remember me early in the season. I'm like, we gonna go far because the defense is what's gonna take us. And all right. you, BG, Carl, y'all was all like, no, you right. That defense, if they could play like what they playing, y'all serious. Then it's like, I don't know what happened. They just fell off the cliff. I'm like, yo, what's that? So then I'm starting to watch, and I'm like, we have no linebackers. That's what's happening. We have safeties playing linebacker right now.
Right.
Like, we have safeties playing linebacker. You're only good for covering a tight end, and even then you still outmatched because the tight end's 6'7", and you're 5'10".
Right. Let me ask you this: do you think that I think that when Trayvon Diggs went out, that's when y'all defense started.
Yeah, that was another big blow because even still, our run game would have got exposed. Even though Trayvon Diggs is a hell of a tackler because he used to be he popped Saquon Barkley a couple times in that game before he got hurt. Our defense probably would have still got exposed just because of the linebacking core and stopping the run game come into October to January. That's when it gets windy, cold, snow, cold rain.
Yeah.
So but I say that exposed our pass game because Stephon Gilmore was a good pickup if Trayvon Diggs is there playing.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like he's a good person to have out there when you got two other corners that are great. And in our case, we did with DaRon Bland and Trayvon Diggs. And he would have been Gilmore would have been good to go with them too. But when he had to get moved to be you got to be one of our main shutdown corners. Gilmore, 33 years old. He's been playing in the NFL since he was 20. That's 13 years of running and gunning up that field, making tackles, people running into your legs. You ain't got it like that no more, man.
Because he was looking like toast in that Green Bay game.
Yeah, he was getting toasted. He was looking like he was lost out there. I'm like, Gilmore, you don't want defensive player of the year. You a cornerback that then did that. You done played with Bill Belichick, one of the greatest defensive-minded coaches to ever coach in the NFL. And you out here looking like you lost in the sauce right now, bro. What is going on?
Just, like completely on a different playing field. Like he didn't know what was going on.
It looked like he was still in bed trying to wake up for the game. I'm like, Gilmore, you out here getting cooked, yo. What is going on with you, man?
Who was it? Dobbs, right? Dobbs killed him.
Dobbs was roasting him. Dobbs had almost 200 on him. He put up what? A bean 57. I was like, yo, Gilmore. I'm like, bro, at this age and stage in your career, your IQ is supposed to be out of this world because there's not a route. You've been in the league since I think him and Alshon went to South Carolina together. They came in like 2011. I'm like, that's over a decade of playing in the NFL. There's not a route there's not a route he hasn't seen ran in the NFL.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out how is this young boy out here just running all over you right now? Like, shoot, and you don't even know where he's going. It's like you forgot the routes that receivers run.
I feel the same way about like Slay and Bradbury. Like
Slay's another one. Bradbury, I just wrote him off. I'm with Gilly on Bradbury. You told me you was ready, bro. I ain't know what you was talking about. You was ready to go on vacation. That was the funniest line I think I heard all year when Gilly said that.
Was funny.
Bradbury, he just needs to go back to Carolina, bro. Let them down there, let them Carolina boys go ahead and ready to throw your ass out the league. But Slay, I don't know what happened. Slay went from being a top 5 cornerback to top 10 to now he's like bro, is you even a top 15 cornerback anymore?
Do you believe that Slay might have had an issue with Patricia being the play caller?
I'm gonna say this, and I was just talking to my man. He from down Virginia. He an Eagles fan. He ain't from the city, ain't got no ties to the city, but he like the Eagles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm asking him. I'm like, bro, I'm telling him. He like, what you think, Smitty? I said, bro, even though I'm not an Eagles fan, I'm gonna keep it real. I ain't seen nothing in the Inquirer or nothing on social media yet. But I said, I think something happened in that locker room, bro. Because there's no way. I've never seen in sports ever a team be 10-1 and then finish losing. Only winning one out they last, 7 or 8 games if you include the playoff game. I've never in my whole life, mind you, I've been watching football my whole life. I've been able to understand football since I was about 6, 7 years old. I've never in my life can recall that I might have to go on YouTube and old sites to find it, but I can't recall off the top of my brain a team be 10-1 and then only win one game out their last 8 games. I've never seen that joint in my life, bro. Never. I think something happened in that locker room, and you could tell because AJ Brown started drawing in the media. Me and you both said it when I came on the show last time. I was like, yo, you man AJ acting like a nut in front of the media, bro. And that felt like AJ wanted to expose it, but he kept biting his tongue. And you know, you can look at people's face when they want to say something, but they holding it back, and it's taking a lot out of them. When you watch the interviews, it looked like AJ wanted to speak his mind, but he just said, "No, I'm gonna just keep this to myself," because something happened in that locker room. I don't know if it was player on player, somebody was messing with somebody's girl, or somebody did something right. Because you know it always starts with a girl. Where then next thing you know, they I don't mess with you, dog. You be like, "Oh my god!" Or if it was a coach and a player, or 2 coaches got into it, and then players picking sides on something they should have just minded their business on. Something happened in that locker room, bro, between a player and a coach, or a coach and a coach, or a player and a player, and people was picking sides. Something happened. You and me both know something happened. And then after that, that it just all hell's been broken loose. Because like we both said, there's never been a time in football, basketball, baseball where I've ever seen a team start off that hot. Where I even threw in the towel to y'all. Remember, I waved the white flag and said, y'all got it this year. I just want to get us to the playoffs. And then next thing I know, I'm like, oh, we about to win the division.
Yeah, I know. It was just crazy. You know what I mean? He's my man here is a 49er fan. Shout out to you. I don't remember Kelsey saying, well, Kelsey, I do. You know what? I do remember saying that Kelsey said that the 49ers, I don't think they broke our team, but they damn sure woke us up. You know
they woke up, made y'all get back into reality. They did us. They did Dallas that way. They snapped us into reality like, oh, Dak is who everybody like me, who you criticized me all summer, Jamar, when you kept saying, why is you a Cowboys fan, Smitty? Just come home, because you just don't like nobody but CD and Mike.
I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just come home, man. Like, I don't understand.
You got this Charger fan in the group chat, and I will not take no Charger slander. Listen, let me say this real quick, Jamal. I'm gonna aim this at Sabri. After y'all made my young bull Justin Herbert looks like trash over these last 4 or 5 years, and how you made me look crazy. Because Jamar, remember when I posted that status before the season, the Chargers gonna win the AFC West, and you and BG both said, "Man, Smitty, we hear that every year. Shut up." You have no leg to stand on, Sabri, right now. You made me look stupid. You made me look worse than the Cowboys made me look after the playoff game.
Look, Higgle wanted Higgle. CD is the truth. She don't
even. CD is the truth, but I'm gonna speak on this because Jamar know I'm a realist. CD Lamb didn't show up either in that playoff game. He dropped, even though albeit one of them first down catches he dropped, he was already down like 21-0. But still, in today's football, 21 points is not a lot of points to come back from the way they throw the ball.
I said that to you. I text you. There was something going on with Dak and CD because they wasn't.
I think because I'm gonna say this. My man, who's a Cowboy fan down here, he said it the best. Because I don't know if you watched the Dez Bryant interview on the Pivot Show with Ryan Clark and them, right?
No, I didn't see that one yet.
I got the bill. I'm gonna answer that after this, right? I don't know if you watched it, but Dez exposed his relationship with Romo, Witten, and Garrett. He said he felt like Romo and Witten were backdooring him and Garrett and them because they was like Jerry didn't really want to pay him. Right. Now I'm gonna say this, right? Why I believe that's true, because look at this. I'm gonna ask you this. Micah Parsons, where do you think he should be lined up for us? Outside linebacker or DN?
Ooh,
because matter of fact, what's Micah Parsons' strength? What's his strength?
Rushing the pass.
What's one of his weaknesses that y'all exposed?
Covering. covering, dropping back
So
in coverage.
if you know he sucks at covering, but he's great at rushing the pass, and when he rushes the pass, he's damn near he's liable to get 3 sacks in every game. Why? But you know, as a businessman, hold up, if he does this and he breaks these records, I'm gonna have to pay him more. I'm gonna have to pay him more money.
Right.
So Jerry, and I believe it because when Dez said that, I said, you devaluing Micah. Why are you lining him up an outside linebacker and not DN or nickel linebacker where he can get to that quarterback and get them sacks? Why CeeDee Lamb against Miami, he got to start bitching on the sideline to get the ball thrown to him? Why the game, I forgot which game it was where he was about to break Michael Irvin's record, y'all stopped throwing him the ball and y'all waited to the next game where y'all had no choice but to throw him the football. I'm like, it all starts to add up where I'm like, bro, y'all trying to stop this man money. And I get it. And it's my thing with Dak. I'm not that high on Dak. I will give him his credit. He's a top 10 quarterback. And from week 10 on down, he played like a top 3 quarterback.
Yeah.
I will give him his credit on that. But to me, Dak Prescott is Kirk Cousins. He's going to put matter of fact, I told my man this yesterday and he laughed. Dak Prescott is them IG models. He gonna look good to you, but when you mess with her, you gonna be like, man, you ain't no good for me. I gotta get you up out of here, man, because you ain't good in the long run. That's what Dak is to me. He gonna put up some nice stats. He gonna get you 10 to 12 wins every year. On a great year, he might get you 13. But when he get to that dance and it's time to show his proof and value and worth, he's gonna choke. The man, and he's 2-5 now in playoffs. That's terrible. In 7 playoff games, the man averages 2 picks a game and only 1 touchdown. No, right. 2 picks, 2 touchdowns. His touchdown to interception ratio in the playoffs is terrible. I had the number written down, but I left my book at my crib, so I didn't get to come prepared. I apologize for coming on your platform. I'm prepared yeah, like it's terrible. So,
but you know what kills me with that? I'm sorry. You know what kills me with that? Like you said, you don't want to put what you call Michael Parsons in his position, that, you know, his natural position to do damage because you don't want to pay him. You don't want to give CeeDee Lamb the ball because you don't want to pay him. Like that kills your team. Like, isn't your team goal to win?
Look at you like you can't trust me, dog. And then when Dak goes through it makes you feel like, oh, you doing that because you going off what they say because you want to make sure you get your money, but we can't get our money. And I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna be the realest. I don't care. You can save this video, edit the clip, post it on Instagram and Facebook, and tag me. I'll tag it with you, and I'll tag every Cowboy player. I'm gonna say this. Look in the camera. If Jerry Jones, you better do the same thing you did to Mike McCarthy with this last year with Dak. Because if you plan on giving Dak 5 years, $60 million, Jerry Jones, you will not get a Super Bowl again while you were living on God's green earth. You will not.
Contract up?
This is technically, he's eligible for extension this summer. But this coming up here is his last year of his deal. That's why everybody keeps talking about the extension, because this is the last year coming up, but he's extension eligible this summer after the season ends. I give him an extension, but if you giving Dak any more than 40 mil, you handicapping his team. You got to pay Micah. You got to pay CD. You need to get another running back. You need to redo that whole linebacker core. Dallas got some holes. Like, I could go on and on, Jamar, about the holes we got that were exposed, because I'm one of them fans. I do it with the Sixers. I do it all the time. I go back and watch the games, whether we win or lose. And I watch them games even that we won. I'm like, man, our linebacking core is just terrible. Only way Cowboys win the Super Bowl is if Jerry gets kidding. Hey, Jose, don't be stealing my line. I told you that, Jose.
I'm confused, though. You just said that you would give Dak an extension.
But not for what he wants to get it. I give him like a 4-year. I give him another 4-year extension for like no more than $40 million, which means he's getting paid in the 30s.
Can you win a Super Bowl? Can you win a Super Bowl with that?
I'm not sure I can win a playoff game with that.
All right, why are we giving him? Why would you want to see him?
Because at the end of the day, I can be in my feelings right now, but we also got to be realists. I think Trey Lance was a good pickup for us, right? I think Trey Lance can get us the 500 record. I just don't think San Fran gave him the right shot. Me watching games of Trey Lance in college and a few games he played in San Fran, he's the type of quarterback that could get CeeDee Lamb the ball, because CeeDee Lamb, he's a top 3 receiver, but he's also a backyard football receiver. He's like that guy, like Russell Wilson when he was in his prime, used to like with Doug Baldwin and Ty Lockett, where I'm about to run out the pocket. You better just run the route and just keep running, and when I find you, I'm going to toss it to you.
Why not trade Dak for Russell Wilson?
Nah.
I mean, because my point
is, if I'm getting the Denver Russ, if I'm getting Seattle Russ, but if I'm getting Denver Russ, heck no. You know who I want?
Right.
I'm gonna mess your head up. I'm gonna take my hat off
Who?
real quick and tie my dreads back because you might have a big argument. I'm about to tell you who I trade Dak for. You ready?
Who?
Justin Fields.
You ain't getting Justin Fields. You ain't getting Justin Fields.
Why not? Are we sure Chicago sold on him?
I don't think they sold on him. I think they do draft a quarterback, but I don't think that y'all have enough to give for Justin Fields. Listen, if y'all, to any team that gets Justin Fields, because me and my brother was talking about it, I thought he would be a good fit in Atlanta.
I do too.
And it was the other team, Tampa Bay. I said Tampa Bay. My brother said Atlanta.
I would say Tampa Bay, but I wouldn't put it out there because we don't know what they're gonna do with Mike Evans. They didn't give him his extension, remember?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So Mike Evans technically could be a free agent this summer.
Yeah, but they're still going young. They're gonna go young. Chris Godwin is still
Evans
there.
ain't nothing but what, like 30 years old? He just turned.
Yeah, but that's old for that's old for NFL.
But not a receiver though.
Yeah,
he just turned 30.
Yeah,
he put over 1,200 yards this season. You don't think he's gonna go?
The man definitely put his numbers up. He definitely does put his numbers up. But I'm just saying, like, if you're looking at it, you'll go younger than because he's probably gonna want some real money.
Oh no, he's definitely gonna want another 4-year deal to retire on. He's gonna want a 4-year max to retire on.
And I don't know if you go that route with that. That's why I'm confused about the Dak thing. Like, I'm not giving. Me personally, I wouldn't. I'm not a Cowboys
31
fan.
years old, 32.
I'm not giving him 4 years. I don't care if it's at $20 million. I'm not giving him 4 years.
Yeah, I give him 3. I'm just looking at it from a real perspective. I don't want Dak as the quarterback, but you got to be realist. You don't just get rid of Dak because then if you just get rid of your quarterback and don't have a quarterback is the most valuable position. Yeah. You can argue it's the most valuable position in all of sports because if you don't have a quarterback, your franchise will be set back for decades. We can point out numbers of franchises: Chicago, Washington. Washington got rid of Kirk Cousins, and look at they've been ever since. Yeah, Kirk Cousins might not have been Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or any of them bulls, but Kirk Cousins is still a good, valuable quarterback, and he still will get you about 10 to 12 wins.
Yeah.
And Washington, and seeing as they ain't been shit in how many decades tomorrow, Kirk Cousins would have actually helped them.
Yeah, he would have. You know, he always had good games against us. But I'm just saying, like, I know you don't get rid of your quarterback for nobody or nothing, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, you know, with Dallas, you got to explore that quarterback field out there, you know, the free agency or whatever, you know, you got out there.
Yeah, I like your idea.
Before you make that deal. Before you
I like your idea, Russ, but it's like, which Russ are we getting at this point in Russ' career? Because the Russ we seen in Denver, it makes you be like, man, Russ, is you still a starting quarterback?
That ain't Russ' fault.
I think Sean Payton didn't want Russ, to be honest with you.
Exactly. That was Sean Payton's fault. They didn't protect that man. You seen when they gave him protection, you seen what he was able to do. He's still like Russ from Seattle. Y'all get Russ in the Dallas Cowboy uniform, I think y'all might do some damage.
I'm at the point, though, I'm going to keep it real. Even though I'm saying I don't know which Russ, I am at the point with Dak where I'm like, shit, give me Russ, man.
Yeah,
I just
that's
want
what I'm saying.
on. Because at least Russ with the weapons we got, and if we can get Russ a run game, because you already showed you what happened if you give him a run game and a defense. If we get him a run game and we could upgrade that linebacker core, Trayvon Diggs will be back next year. It might take him a month to get his leg under him again, but a month ain't bad because it takes a lot of players, even if they didn't get hurt, a month to get used to playing football again. Yeah. But
I think that
if I'm Russ, I take him, but it's like, we got to tell Russ, listen, you just got a fat contract in Denver. We ain't breaking off no fat contract for you now, bro. You can take this nice little 2-3 piece, or matter of fact, a 2-piece. And if everything goes well, we'll add you another couple years to it later on after this one ends. But
I don't think who's trash, Joanna? Who's trash?
Yeah, I got to hear that. Who's trash?
I don't think Russ is going to look for the payday no more. You know what I mean? He's at the latter end of his career. He got a big payday with Denver. They got to pay him most of that money because they guaranteed it. But I think he's looking to go somewhere.
Denver got a lot of holes, though, man. It ain't just Russ. Denver got to get a number one receiver because Jerry Jeudy is a slot receiver. People try to play my man CD all year like, oh, he's just a slot. No, Jerry Jeudy is just a slot receiver for real.
CeeDee Lamb is tough. Right,
CeeDee Lamb is a knife. He's a butter knife. He can do everything: slot, outside, running back. He's one of them receivers you actually want on your team because you're like, yeah, I can line you up here and here and here. You don't want if it's like this as a running back, you know, if all you good for is running up the hole, I mean, what I need you for other than goal line or short yardage game. I need you to be able to catch, take the ball outside. I need you to do all that.
Yeah, you said him. You talking about Russell Wilson? I guess. I'm assuming you talking about Russell Wilson. He's not trash.
Yeah, I ain't gonna go that far. We just debating is he still worth a starting quarterback as far as giving him another contract? But trash, I can't.
Yeah, I think for y'all and y'all situation at quarterback, because like I said, Dak had one of his best seasons this year.
And he still couldn't get it done. He got to the playoffs and still performed like that.
So that goes to show you that Dak ain't it. He ain't the answer to what your problem is or what your situation is in that team. You got to move on from that. Now, I'm not saying you move on for Trey Lance, because I don't think Trey Lance might be a couple years out. You know what I mean? He might need a couple more years to sit on that bench.
But he knows the system now. If we keep McCarthy for 1 year, he at least knows McCarthy's playbook.
Yeah, but you're not gonna mortgage your future with Trey Lance.
No.
He's trying to win. Jerry Jones on his deathbed. He's trying to get a Super Bowl before he die. Another one before he die. So you're not gonna do that with Trey Lance. You're not gonna win a Super Bowl with Trey Lance next year.
And you might get
somebody a little bit more
500 record. You get a 500 record, but that's
I mean, y'all been doing that.
Yeah, and that's
y'all been over that.
It's like we basically mortgaged. Like, I don't know, man. Dak is a good quarterback, but he's a guy that can get you there. Matter of fact, he might be Carson Wentz, and we need the Nick Foles, Trey Lance. That's our Dak, get us there, and Trey Lance, you do the rest.
I've always had this issue, right? What did I as an Eagle fan, I'm being honest, I don't see what Carson Wentz did wrong.
What to get kicked out, to get booed, to get the boot?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what he did wrong. His ego got in the way, because Philly, we have a way of building a player up. We did it with Bubba. You know that we did it with Bubba, even though Bubba deserved it, but we did it with him. Philly has a way of building the players up. Carson, he put in the work, all that. He felt beloved by the city, the reporters, the team. The team started boosting him up. He got that deal. So then once he got that deal, he still felt like, yeah, this is my team. This is my team. We do what? No, bro. Yeah, this is your team, but you still got to put in work, bro. Every day you got to put in work. This is football. We only got 17 games to play to win.
Yeah. But you say that, right? Technically, he did. It is all right. So we built him up. So that was our issue, that we built him up and made him feel like that, right? So he embraces that mindset and say, you know what? That's how I'm gonna rock out now. They gave me the keys to the city. I'm going with it. You know what I mean? Y'all start taking offensive linemen away from me. Stop protecting me. Taking running backs away from me, receivers away from me. What you want me to do with
now? That part I will agree with. And
what can I do?
He still did make some things work without the best receiving weapon, because that's one thing I say Dak didn't do. Remember when Zeke got suspended that year, Dak got exposed. That's that year actually that exposed Dak to me. I'm like, hold up, you look sweet your rookie year. You look like Kate, baby. You look real good out there. But now you don't got Zeke, who carried us for his first 4 or 5 years in the league. Dez, he lost steps out of nowhere because of them foot injuries.
Yeah.
You not looking too good. You ain't got no weapons. Then the next year, when we traded for Amari, you still look the same, where you need a whole lot around you. Carson, I will give him that. He had Boston Scott. He had a bunch of receivers that aren't even in the league no more, playing receiver, and he still made some things work. But at the same time, when he had weapons, he wasn't making it work either, other than the year he blew his knee out.
Right. And that was it was that year, and it was the next year, because I think that next year, when did we lose Alshon? I think we lost Alshon after that next year, because we played against and that wasn't even his fault. That's what I'm saying. We played against New Orleans in the playoffs, and we were driving down the field, and he threw the ball to Alshon. Alshon dropped the ball. We lost and sent home. But that wasn't on. I just don't see it. Like, it's just like everybody hate Carson Wentz, and I swear I don't see what he did to garner this much hate. I don't understand.
I think it was his attitude. That's really what it was. His attitude towards things. Because, all them reports came out. Then he was showing it in the media interviews. Like, okay, these ain't just reports, bro. These is you really like, what's up with you, man? You what's up with you? I get it, but you got to still do some stuff, man.
Yeah, I know. But that's, to me, like, all right, that's like AI with the Sixers, right?
But I'm not even gonna take up for AI, but AI, even though he had a twisted attitude, he was out clubbing, getting into foolishness. He was out, like, both of us can say this. And my old heads, my uncles, my cousins, they all even say it. If AI was any other person, a lot of the places he was going to in North Philly, West Philly, South Philly, Uptown, all that, if that was anybody else, he'd have been getting dealt with. But because the city, we loved AI, he was able to do a lot of that stuff.
Right.
But even though AI was into a lot of foolishness, he was in there, but he always came to work and gave his best in his heart. And even though he had a messed up attitude, he didn't have that messed up attitude towards the team.
You think so? You think Carson had it towards the team?
I mean, you see how the players was acting to him. It was like a divided. Y'all had a divided locker room. Some of the players liked him. A lot of them was like, man, I don't want to deal with Carson.
But here's the bad part about it, right? So even if he had, let's just say he had a messed up attitude towards the players, we built him up to be that way. We as fans, we built him up.
And that's why that was my first point. The city did that. That's why I said it from the jump. I said, you can't create a monster, then get mad when it turns into a monster.
And that's what I'm saying about that's what I'm even saying about the players. Like in all honesty, if it wasn't for him before he blew out his knee, we wouldn't have got to the point of getting.
No, I will say that because he had y'all with them 11 wins, and
so he should have.
Truthfully, Tom Brady won that MVP that season. Carson don't blow his knee out, he wins MVP.
Yeah. Because he was up there. He had like 2 games left, 2 or 3 games left. But what I'm saying is like y'all, if he doesn't have that confidence, and if he doesn't exude that confidence, you don't exude it either. Like y'all should be like, oh, my man, cocky. Why we all can't be cocky? Like I don't like that. I don't understand that mindset. Whereas though I'm putting in my work and I'm being who I am, the city embracing me, everybody's embracing me to do what I'm doing. But y'all get mad on the back end as teammates and not understand, like, yo, I put the work in to get to this point.
Now that part I definitely agree with you on. That come from a little bit of jealousy to players, like, oh, they showing him love. And even though that's when you got it, but see, I ain't gonna say that's when the Carson's supposed to tell them, like, I'm out here putting in the work. That's when I don't know, that comes from the organization needing to step in and being like, hold this and that's and that.
Oh, that's players saying to each other. That's like even AJ Brown. Like if you feel as though that Jalen Hurts is getting attention, but you out there putting in the work, well then you do a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Do a little bit more. It's like the Mamba mentality. Like even though I'm putting in my work, Shaq might be the focal point of the team, but I'm gonna make sure that people know my name too.
Damn right, they gonna know my name and they gonna be like, oh, this guy is a killer too now. Hold up. Now I definitely agree with that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like if Carson is out there doing that and y'all get mad at him for doing that, that's on y'all. But that's why we haven't won. We won that one Super Bowl since he left. We haven't won anything really. You know what I mean? We was at the Super Bowl last year. Like we got better, we retooled. But we went through a couple of years of just being okay football team or okay football play. You know what I mean? I think that's the problem with Philly. Like a lot of times that we want to have a focal point and say, oh, he the man. But then when he's that and he's doing that and he's exuding that, instead of you learning off of what he's doing or piggybacking off of what he's doing.
Actually, I agree with your statement because it's like when people be saying that about Embiid. And I be getting mad, like, yo, Embiid put in the work. If you a real Sixer fan and you watch from 2013 when we drafted him to where he's at now, 2024, you can understand why Embiid acts the way he acts. So I do get it. I do get it because you can say, albeit in the playoffs, because we both agree, Joe, we love you, but you no longer in your stage of career. And at the height of your career now, you no longer judged on regular season. People just watch you in the regular season to be like, all right, he's getting better. But your career now is judged off what you do in the second round of the playoffs. But I agree with you because we built Joel Embiid up to be what he is now. We have built him up, but he's rightfully deserved it. Just like we're doing now with Maxey. We're building him up to be like this.
Yeah. And and I would hate to see people get into a situation where they start looking at Maxey or Embiid like, oh, y'all think y'all this, y'all think y'all that. No, it's just like if they put the work in, they
deserve it.
You know,
damn right.
If you want some of that limelight or even that limelight, put the work in.
Absolutely.
You know
if you want to be like that, Oubre, you want to be like that, Oubre. You want to be embraced by the city, Oubre, put the work in.
Exactly.
You want to be embraced like that, what's his name? Nicholas Batum. Rocco, he's already been there. Twin, he from the city. But who else? Jaden Springer, Pat Bev, all that. Put the work in.
Put the work in. That's not sit here and act like these guys. We just anointed them as the the key to the city. They put work in for us to be able to say that.
Yeah, so, now that's why now that I take that back, I do agree with you on Carson. That's like what I said though, but you can't create a monster then cry about it later on.
Exactly, and that's a lot of times what Philly fans that do or Philly players that do. They'll build them out. Oh, you the man. But then you start saying like, oh, you're doing too much. Like,
yeah, you can't do that. No,
like,
you built them up. You seen him downtown. You seen him in Center City, and you decided to buy him and his wife, or him and his girl, whoever he was with, him and his son, a drink. Like, yeah, they meal on me. They putting on for the city. He putting on for the city. Or you can't be like, nah, you from Philly now. You claim the city. You can't build them up like that, and then all of a sudden be like, nah, you doing too much. You need to get this and that. Be like, what you mean I'm doing too much? I put in the work. Like what AI said in the practice. Practice? We talking practice. I just came out here and dropped 55 points, and you want to talk practice?
Yeah, we come on practice. Like, what if I come to practice even more? Like, and I felt what he said because he was like, these guys are professional ball players. I'm a professional ball player. I go out there and put it online every day.
Every night.
Every time I'm out there, I give you 100%. If they feel like they want to give you 75, 50, it's nothing I could do in practice.
But I can't force a grown man to do their job.
Right. And so you criticizing me because I'm out here living my life, doing my thing, because these guys don't want to get better. Like, that's on them.
It's like what Kobe used to say. If I'm in the gym, if practice is at 7, I'm in the gym by 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a grown man and I know I'm doing this, why Rick Fox ain't doing it? So yeah, that's why I agree with you when I agree with Carson had the right to feel that way. Because if Carson like practices at 8 o'clock every morning, the first part of practice, I'm on the field at 6:30. Shit, you want to be better? You want me to do this and that? Come and be at practice at 6:30. Matter of fact, be there at 6.
Right. Now the one thing I felt Carson on is when they drafted Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, he's supposed to feel territorial because he like, man, I've been here and I put in the work. I got hurt, yeah, but I didn't been here.
Right.
But also I understand why y'all drafted him because y'all looking at it like, is Carson gonna get back to being Carson? Right.
But I mean, like, even if that was a thought process, like I just think that was a little too high of a pick. I'm glad we got Hurts, though. I'm not sitting here saying that I regret the pick. I'm glad we got him. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I mean, I think he's going to win a Super Bowl with us. But I just think at that position it was a little too high of a pick at that time.
Yeah, and be happy for this. Be happy for this. At least y'all ain't got a bunch of family members supposedly online drunk. You got Tad Prescott talking about some Dallas fans. Why do y'all feel the need to keep DMing me? Trust me, I want my brother to leave Dallas. The city and the organization has been good to us, but you fans are terrible. But he wants to stay there to win rings. I'm like, win rings? You need to tell your brother to focus on winning more than a playoff game every 3 years. And then you got CD Lamb's mom supposedly posting and deleting on Facebook talking about Dak ain't it. You got Micah Parsons' brother supposedly posting on Twitter talking about, guys, y'all going to miss him when he's gone. Y'all are devaluing him. The organization is devaluing him and not playing him right. I'm like, good God, I love to see it, though. I ain't going to lie to you. I know it's going to sound crazy, but I'm like, Jerry, this is the culture you built. You want to be cheap on money, and then 1 minute spend money, and then 1 minute you don't want to you want to put coaches in position. But then the players don't got to listen to the coaches. They can just come straight to you. It's like you start a business, Jamar. You got your manager and your supervisor. The employees sit there and be like, I don't got to go holler at the supervisor or the manager. I'm just going to holler at Jamar.
Yeah, that ain't right. There's a chain of command. You got to go through your coaches, and you got to go through the proper chain of command before you come to me. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You know what I mean? But I welcome it.
You said what? You welcome what?
I'm welcoming Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb to Philly.
Nah, they need to stay there. They just need to get rid of that guy number 4, but make sure you get rid of him for the right guy. But I honestly do think that, though, if he don't sign that, get an extension this summer, I do believe Jerry in his mind is saying, this is the last year I'm trying it with that.
Yeah, because he hasn't shown you anything that you should be like, all right, I can bring him back.
Other than in the regular season.
He had a hell of a regular season this year, but when it came down to money time, and it wasn't even all his fault.
But I'm gonna say this: I hate when people say that, right? After that first drive, when Green Bay, even though albeit we had 2 penalties, one penalty was a ticky-tack pass interference. The other one was DeMarcus Lawrence doing what he does every playoffs and gets penalized because he just, I don't know what's up with DeMarcus Lawrence. But every time after that first drive, when we seen him go down and put up 7, that should have told the offense, Dak, you the leader. You supposed to have gone up to CD. You're supposed to have gone up to Gallup. You're supposed to go up to Tony Pollard, the offense line, and be like, listen, this might be a long day for us with our defense. We might be in a shootout. We got to go out here and do our thing. And that first drive, he didn't do nothing. They even put the camera on this man's face. He was looking nervous. I'm like, bro, we only down 7-0, and it's the facial expression you got, like you already nervous, and your back, your palms already sweating, and you already tightened up. Come on, bro, tighten up, man. It's only 7-0. But when I seen that, I swear to you, I sat back and went exactly like this and said, offense did not score on that first drive. If they go down here and go up 14-0, we might lose this game. Letting you know that next drive, Tampa Bay got it. They went up 14-0. I mean, Tampa Green Bay, they went up 14-0. I said, yep, this game ain't going our way.
After 14-0.
Yeah, because I said offense was supposed to see, all right, like you know how a team, if you could see when a team is going to step up. When if the offense sees, all right, the defense ain't having it today, we got to win this game. Or the defense says the offense ain't doing nothing. We got to be the one to make key plays to win this game for the team.
Right.
The offense didn't do that. I'm not just grinding up Dak because I'm not exonerating CD. You know I love my man CD. But at the end of the day, he dropped passes. He was doing stuff. But Dak threw 2 picks. That one pick, you could argue, all right, that was good defense by Jair Alexander on Brandon Cooks. But if you watch the play, CD was open on an out route for the first down. He didn't throw it to him. Dak just eyed in on Brandon Cooks and just threw it to him. Like, bro, you got one of the best corners in the league on a freaking 5'7" slot receiver. What are you doing throwing a slant route to him? Everybody named Mama knows Brandon Cooks is a deep threat because he's going to burn the corner 9 times out of 10. Why are you throwing him? And then the second interception, which was he locks in on CD. CD's being damn near triple team. He got a safety and a cornerback on him. The linebacker standing right there looking at him. The whole defense knew he's going to go to 88. You still throw to 88. And on that play, you had Brandon Cooks open on a slant route. So it was like back and forth. One play, you had CD open. You chose to throw to Cooks, and he gets muscled. Then the next play, you had Cooks open. You chose to throw to your guy that's being triple teamed.
Right. Right. It is just bad quarterbacking all around. You know what I mean? That's the same thing Jalen Hurts did. It was a couple times that game he had what you call Julio Jones for
wide open. I've seen it. Yeah, I was like,
he didn't see him. There was a lot of times during the year, like my brother even pointed this out. There was no hot route for the blitz. There was no hot route. Like, so it was like he was getting.
It's like they just. It's like both Jalen and Dak just said we just gonna go off what McCarthy or Sirianni tells us to do.
Yeah. And
like, y'all both as 2 of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. Y'all better sit there and man up and say, F that. We not running that play. He about to come and try to muscle you Cooks. Run this route right here. Like, it come a point you gotta do. Ferguson was putting in work. But I'm gonna be albeit though, Ferguson got them touchdowns when it really didn't matter. Like, everybody keep bringing up Dak's 400 yards. I'm like, bro, the man had 169 yards when we was down 42-16. I said that's what he had. The rest of them yards only mean something if you bet on FanDuel so you can get your money. Because if you just looking at it from a perspective, strictly fan perspective, then that's just what that. She said you a hater?
Yeah, I'm a hater. But
he is a hater, Juwana. He's a certified hater, man.
I ain't no hater. I'm just keeping it real. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, it is what it is, you know? Real quick, what you got on the Sixers, man?
I think me and you both agreed on it when we told BG, we told Sabri, and we told Jen. Like, and I tell this to Berg too. Like, I don't want to break the team up. Don't get it twisted. I don't want to make no big movement. I want to rock out to the playoffs before that. I personally want DeJounte Murray because he's a ball handler. He's a point guard that can score, but his backbone is defense. We need that in our backcourt. I love Melton, but I personally think Melton is made for a 6th man or 7th man.
Right. Let me ask you this.
I'll say this. We need a shooter like how we had when we had JJ Redick. A guy that just comes down off the screens or the pin down plays, and that's what we need. We need that. I want Bogdanovich from Detroit because that's what type of player he is. Like, dude, we just want you to go out there, and even if all you score is 10, 12 points, but them 10, 12 points came from you knocking down them threes.
Right. Let me ask you this: with last night with Maxey having what 16, it was an off night for Maxey.
Yeah, it was off night. He was like 7 for 22 or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you had another shooter in that position, because even Paul Reed had 8 rebounds. So this is the argument. Everybody's saying we need more rebounding when Embiid is not in the game. He had 8 rebounds last night. I believe Paul Reed can get up to 10 rebounds a game if he actually puts the effort in. If Tobias can get up to 10 rebounds a game, we'll be fine. If Joe can average at least 13 a game, rebounding won't be an issue. But those off games that Maxey might have coming up, especially in the playoffs,
a shooter can make up for that with the points he get from hitting them threes.
Exactly.
Because we don't need no more scorers. We got enough guys that can create their own shot. Oubre, Toby, Melton, Joel, of course. People gonna argue and say, well, Marcus Morris. Well, he got Marcus Morris is not a 3-point specialist. He's a 3-and-D guy where if he's hot, he's lighting you up, but he's out there really for toughness, his defense, because he could play defense on multiple positions and he can knock down some shots, but he's not a 3-point specialist. He's not a guy that we're going to be out there able to depend on to give us 12 points a game. He's not that.
No. And that's the point. So, like, if you're lacking on, like, if Maxey have a bad game or Tobias, because there's no evidence that Tobias is even going to give us.
Me and you both said that yesterday. We had 5 years of evidence of this stuff. It's like we want it to happen because Tobias is the key for us to make a final.
Right.
If we can get that Toby we got with them back-to-back 30-point games and that game against Denver where he had 24, 5, and 8 or something like that, but we have 5 years of evidence to say we might not get that Toby.
If Toby can do 20, and I said this too on one of my videos, 20 and 10.
In the playoffs, absolutely. In the playoffs.
Like if he could consistently from this point on average 20 and 10 for the rest of the season, that makes the Sixers that much more dangerous.
It does. You know what's crazy? You said that. Shaq said that. Charles Barkley said that. Kenny Smith said that. Candace Parker said that. Jamal Crawford said. Everybody said that. But you know what they all say afterwards? They all be like, well, they say the same thing me and you said. Well, we got 5 years of evidence in Philly jersey that you can't really depend on that in the playoffs.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying if he could do it and establish it now, it would be better for us.
Absolutely. Because that's where the regular season matters because it builds that confidence to go into playoffs to do it.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, what's happening, like you get a score, you get a rebounder, a Drummond or whoever else that they keep hollering they want to get. You get that type of guy there and coming off your bench. You grab rebounds to pass out the ball to people who can't shoot, who can't score. So
because you're gonna have to get Drummond, Chicago's gonna be like, well, he's doing great for us. We want this, and that. You breaking up our depth. Bogdanovich from Detroit, they might just try to get rid of him because I think he only got 1 or 2 years left on his deal. I think it's a year. They'd be like, man, we got 6 wins this year. We just want some shit. Get him out of here. What you gonna give us, a first and a role player? Give us a first and Court. Right. All right, cool. We got 3 tradable first round picks anyways. That still leaves us with 2 first round picks.
Right.
Because
go ahead.
Because it's like you need that shooter because even if you bring in a Drummond is unplayable in the playoffs due to the fact that if the game is close, they're gonna foul him. He don't make his free throws. That's 1.
Right.
And then 2, you need a shooter in the playoffs because if we got a pin down shooter like a Bogdanovich that could play the JJ Redick role for us, that takes the pressure off when we play Boston because now Boston's like, hold up, take Derek White off of Tyrese Maxey and put him on Bogdanovich because he's getting hot from 3. And then that means, all right, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, one of them still on Toby. But if Toby's giving us 20 and 10, one of them 2 have to focus a lot of their game on defense on him. So now you still got freed up space for Maxey to help out Joel Embiid. Because Joel's getting 30, whether you like it or not. He's getting 30. But we need Maxey to still keep his 25, 26 a game. Maybe even in the playoffs against a Boston or Milwaukee, give us 30 a game with Joel.
Yeah, I think if he has to. I think in the playoffs he has to boost up his scoring. I think
everybody has to.
One thing I want to see Maxey do, just from the regular season to the playoffs, is get his assist up.
Yeah,
I want him to see. I want to
see that in his mid-range game because I think he's getting too comfortable jacking them threes. Yeah,
he is. There's points in the game when he's jacking threes. You like, did you just shoot that?
Yeah, you be like,
You
I
know,
ain't
what
mad
are
at you
you doing?
because you Maxi and you got the green light.
Right.
Bro, you could have just do what KD do what Embiid does. Let me not shoot that. Here you go, free throw line, shoot that.
Right. Yeah. Let me ask you this real quick before we get out of here. Do you think that like KD and like Dame Lillard and those guys regret the decisions they made as far as saying where they wanted to go? Because of what KD said the other day, it takes Joel three quarters to get his 30 or 40 whatever.
I
I
think
think
KD regretting going to Phoenix and not coming to Philly
exactly.
because he loves Joe. If you see him, he always praising Joe. Like he wants to be able to play with a big man like Joe because he's never played with a big man like Joe in his life. Where it's like he's a big man, but he's still like a wing player at the same time. So I do think KD regrets that because he's in Phoenix. KD's going down to, in my opinion, one of the top 15 greatest players to ever play the game and one of the top 5 to 10 greatest scorers to ever play the game. If he didn't miss that season because of the Achilles, he probably would break that scoring record LeBron got right now.
Right.
But I'm gonna say this: he went to Phoenix. They brought in Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal. I'm so happy we did not trade for Bradley Beal because we would have been out here ready to kill. Philly would have been ready to burn the Wells Fargo down right now.
I know
because
he
Bradley Beal
yet.
has not been playing. He has not done nothing. Devin Booker missed like the first month. He's been back balling, but it still feels like, all right, Devin Booker's back balling, but you and KD did that last year together and see where that got you.
Got you nowhere.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I do think Kevin Durant regrets it. He should have came to Philly. He would have had a nice little spot because we could have gave him Toby and a bunch of draft picks and still had Maxey.
Right.
So that would have been a hell of a big 3. As far as Dame, on one of my videos, I had said it before the trade happened. I said, I think Dame to Giannis would be a great 1-2 punch, but their defense is so terrible. It's like, bro, it's getting late in the year. If y'all don't get somebody to come in, a 2 players that can play defense for y'all might be a second round and done team this year.
Right. Yeah, that's what I think. I think Dame, because I know when Joel had that press conference after the loss to the Boston Celtics last year, and he went on there and said it just can't be me and James Harden getting better. Everybody else got to get better. Dame put out that tweet like, huh? You know what I mean? And so he was saying that he wanted, because in the beginning it was reported that he wanted to be traded to the Sixers. You know what I mean? He wanted to come to Philly to play with Joe. But after at that press conference, he changed his mind, I guess, and said he was focusing on Miami. But he gets traded to the Bucks, and I think he's looking at the Bucks like, yeah, we lost a lot of defense. Like, I don't really play defense. That's not my
forte.
Like, I'm shooter. I'm a killer. But we can't stop nobody. And I'm looking on the other end, even though we have a better record than them right now. They are a better, deeper team than what we are right now.
Like, and that's why I said we need a shooter. Like, we don't need another scorer. Like, yeah, them guys that we got can hit threes, but if they get hot, they hitting threes. We need a guy that he's just out there to hit threes. Right.
Well, listen, it's been an hour and 7 minutes. I appreciate you, man, coming on the show.
I appreciate you for letting me come on this journey with you, Jamar. Show some love, talk sports. I'm about to start being back on it, making videos. So you're gonna be invited like we was earlier in this season.
Let me know. We gonna put something together. You know what I mean? Especially with the Sixers, because that's all we got. Both our teams done with football, so we got.
Yeah, it's done, man. It's just speaking of football, just makes both of us mad because we like, man, bro, y'all stinking embarrassing. So yeah, we definitely got to come up on there to bust the Sixers up, chop it up, see how the season's going, man. Trade deadline's coming up, man.
We gotta see who we gonna get.
Yeah, that's gonna tell us what we're gonna see for the rest of the year.
All right. So listen, I appreciate you, man, and we'll be talking throughout the playoffs and all that, and into the season with the Sixers, man. So I appreciate you being on here.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you for having me, brother.
No problem.